Hello and welcome to the week Abridged. My name's Andrew White and this is an award show for the last 7 days of news and trends. This week, Britain's vaccine efforts moved from the over 80s to the over 70s, and I just hope we have a plan for the younger generation. Because a letter to the post is not good enough. We're going to need a Facebook invite. We're going to be a generation of people that clicks maybe on our own first dose. But perhaps instead of any of those age categories, we should be focusing on the 99s, as an ice cream in China was tested positive for COVID-19. Oh, this is going to make the frozen yogurt people even more insufferable. Freo actually has less calories, less sugar, and it's COVID-free. Like, I don't care. Yogurt is not an alternative to ice cream. Crying into a Muller corner does not soothe me in the same way as a tub of Haagen-Dazs. However, in Britain, an infected cornetto might fetch £500, as it was revealed the government were considering paying £500 for every positive test result. This is a ridiculous switch in attitude from a government that doesn't even trust parents to feed their own children. You think the British public are fine with this? No, we're a nation of people who think we're Del Boy. As soon as you announce that policy, there's going to be hundreds of websites offering a cough-in-your-face service so you can get the virus and get the payout. I mean, maybe this is some weird attempt to reverse psychology, but really it just seems so unaware and so lacking in people skills that you think the new policy advisor is David Brent. And whilst COVID news focused on jabs and fabs and ill-thought cash grabs, over in America, Joe Biden was finally inaugurated the new president. It was an inauguration with a cast deserving of a Trolls animated sequel. And as a new old man moved into White House assisted living, the world sighed a sigh of relief. And sure, he may seem boring, but if you scratch a little deeper under the surface, he's still boring. And I wouldn't want it any other way. Our award this week is the Lump It Award, celebrating people who, when given the option of like it or lump it, have very much had to lump it. Our nominees are... Our first nomination goes to the G7 Summit, who will next be meeting in Cornwall. Now, this does seem like a very last-minute move from Britain, like we've just scraped together enough vouchers for a Sun £9.50 holiday, and now Cornwall's going to host the cream of the international crop, preceded, of course, by the jam of the international crop. Like, Cornwall's such a bastard to get to from most of England, let alone the rest of the world. This really does feel like the weak link in an episode of Come Dine With Me. We've gone to Italy and had some lovely spaghetti, Macron's laid on some beautiful French cuisine, and then they've come over here and we've got a pint of cider and a warmed up Ginsters. Like, you're not getting the money, Boris. So I'm sorry, G7, you're going to have to lump it. Next up is Donald Trump, who now has to put up with no longer being president. He decided not to attend Joe Biden's inauguration, as if that was some sort of power play. Like, no, you were only going because the whole class was invited. Joe didn't want you at his laser tag party in the first place. Before he left, some of his staff were seen taking artifacts from the White House, like this Lincoln bust. I assume that's his staff anyway, and not some presidential edition of Can't Pay Will Take It Away. People were suggesting that these items might end up sold online, and I for one cannot wait for the Facebook Marketplace comments underneath that. Just a historic bust of Abraham Lincoln from the White House, and people underneath like, can you deliver to Wolverhampton? Or would you consider a swap deal with the DVD bundle I had listed? Now Trump has to go live in his tower, retreating to a tower. The last person that did that was Sauron, and even he wasn't narcissistic enough to call it Sauron Tower. Our next nominee is the British public, who this week had to lump it with the news that the UK variant of COVID could be 30% more deadly and 70% more transmissible. This was announced in a daily briefing, and all I could think was, we're still doing daily briefings? Who's watching those anymore? You have to feel for the BBC, their viewing figures must be plummeting. At this point, it's like a long-running soap. I just wonder which minister they're going to kill off to get a ratings boost. I'm joking, of course. The cabinet would have decided it's Matt Hancock already. But to be fair, if they start doing stuff like that, like Gavin Williamson having an affair with Priti Patel, or Michael Gove dramatically getting barred from the Commons canteen, I would tune back in. Our final nominee and winner of the Lump It Award is Bernie Sanders, who was pictured at Joe Biden's inauguration looking like this. I mean, that is the very definition of a man lumping it rather than liking it. You can just imagine him getting annoyed in the cold, getting sarky with the staff, and listing off all the performers he would have booked if he was the Democrat nominee instead. No, I'm fine, thank you, I'm fine. What, anything? You're hardly going to move it inside for me, are you? Oh. Jennifer Lopez. I would have got Elton John. I'm going to be honest, in between writing this and filming this is the fastest I've ever seen a meme burn out. There were hundreds and thousands of edits of Bernie sat in different places. I didn't see this interpretation though, so here is my own contribution. It's Bernie at a car boot sale. Look at him there. It's perfect, isn't it? And oh, what's that in his boot? It's the Abe Lincoln bust. He's bought it off Donald Trump's eBay. Congratulations, Bernie Sanders. You're our winner of the Lump It Award. Before I wrap up, I always like to look at the lighter news. And once again, it's the NHS vaccine efforts that are providing a ray of hope. We're currently vaccinating at a rate of 140 a minute. And that's a nice redemption arc for Boris Johnson, because 140 a minute was also the 2020 rate of governmental fuck-ups. But, to be fair to Johnson, he is doing his best. So your surgeon today is actually this guy we just kind of found on the street, but he's going to give it a good try. Okay, well, as long as he's doing his best.